It's showing you.
It's showing you. Is it showing you now? Okay, welcome. Tell someone to tell someone we are live. Okay, now live. Invite your friends. Let them know. Post it on your status. We are live. Okay. Just few more minutes, then we kick off. All right. Okay. Just type I can hear you in the comment section to be sure. Okay, good. You guys are welcome to the I Paid Freelancing program. And the purpose of this program is to uh, make sure people are actually making money. That's the main point here, so that things can actually get better. And definitely, we know if you want to make money, there are many ways to make money, different model to make, not just to make money, but to make legitimate money online. Okay, but before then, I would love to introduce myself. My name is Isaac Adeyemi, a business expert. So I coach people on how to make six figures monthly, most especially online and offline. So I come up with this training simply because I see so many persons having issue with making money online, and there are some people that are already freelancers, but still they can't boast of making just 100,000 naira a month. There are some people that they are just struggling to make money online. In fact, they don't even know the business model to get started with. So that's why I arrange this training. So basically, this training is for freelancing, what you need to know about freelancing, how to succeed as a freelancer, and how to be a successful freelancer who earn between $1,000 to $2,000, even if you don't have a skill or you have never been paid for your skill before. Okay. So if you can hear me, I can see people are saying we are waiting. And please, if you can hear me, just type I can hear you. Just type I can hear you if you can hear me, please. Can you guys hear me? Awesome. That's great. So before we continue, I want you to share the link with others. Let them know we are live. Share the link with others. Post it on your status, because it's not only about you making money, it's about you and your people making money. And that's how to turn the world into a wealthier place to live. So share the details on your status. Let your friends know we are live. Okay? So, and very soon I'm going to invite Mr. Water. So I'm going to invite Mr. Water. So like I said, so those are things that we're going to cover. So before then, let me give us some tips. Okay, our guest is here already. Mr. Water is here. Okay.
Hello guys. Can you guys hear me?
Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. What's up? So let us welcome Mr. Water once again. So once he enter, let us know if you can hear him.
Okay, so you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Excuse me, I'm trying to sort something out. I'm hearing music in the background. I think it's on the app. Maybe it's from the platform. It's annoying me actually. Anyways, let's begin, guys. I'm trying to see if I can pause the background music coming off my mic, but I think it's from the StreamYard platform they're using for this. So if you guys can hear me, we're going to begin right now. Okay, thank you. So, first things first, my name is Walter Edinoya, and I am fortunate to be some of the top freelancers in Nigeria, right? I'm fortunate to be called one of them. I've closed as high as 5,000, between $5,000 to $10,000 per gig. And over last year alone, I made over $40,000 on freelancing, strictly alone. Now, it's not about the money, but it basically use numbers to measure feats. So I'm mentioning it for you guys to get an idea of what I'm talking about, right? So before I started freelancing, I was a student of the University of Calabar. I dropped out in 2019, actually, because, well, technically, main reason I dropped out was because of money issues, number one. But before then, like, I just started getting into the online money making space. I heard about copyright, and I was like, they could make thousands of dollars with these rights. I heard it, so I got into copywriting. Over time, I got my first three clients, but these clients were Nigerian clients, people I was working with, right? I was managing their social media, I was posting for them. One was selling clothes, the other was selling cake, and the other cosmetics, right? So I was posting their products, writing the product description. When I post the products every single day, I come up with a creative caption, right? And the rest of these things were what I was doing for them. And the package was, each of them was paying me 10,000 naira per month. And it was like a weekly distance. Like every week I get, they pay me every weekend. That's like on Saturday, they pay me 2,500, 2,500, 2,500. That's what do we call it? 10,000 naira a month, right? And to be honest, it was a lot of work. Over time, I couldn't do it anymore. Combined with my studies, I was not making a lot of money. And let's just say I decided to drop it, and I got burnt out. I decided to look outside because I was like, it's so difficult working for Nigerian clients because everyone was skeptical. It's not even like these days where more and more people are getting more inclined with the online space. That time it was even worse. Nowadays, more people are getting to know that you can actually make money online, right? So if you tell someone, if you approach a business owner from Nigeria and tell the person, let me write this for you, and you pay me this thing. Once you very start calling above 1,000, 2K, they start treating you like trash, right? So I said I was going to work with foreign clients. And over what I did then was that this thing, I entered Facebook groups and started looking at what they were posting. I joined e-commerce groups. Now on these groups, what they were doing was simple. They were talking about their problems with their stores, right? This online platform store, Shopify, and the rest of that. Now, me being a copywriter, what I just did was I pitched my service to them as a product description writer. Okay, so this is basically my story, and from there I got $300. I got a $300 gig. That was the highest I could make that time. Around that time, if you converted $300, it was 108,000, right? So it was like my month salary three times for one project. So it was good stuff. And over time, I got to meet some of my mentors. You guys might know them. Ante Mukolo. You guys said some of you guys certainly should know him. And then the second person is Wins the Mayors, right? I've learned from a lot of people, but these guys, I keep mentioning them because it was both their courses that stood out to me that helped me get to where I am today, right? So that's how it went. I went there from charging this thing from starting from I started charging $1,000 per gig, $2,000 per project, $5,000 per project, and upwards, right? So that's basically how it is. And these days, I don't need to even work. I don't need to start looking for much clients because I just need to get one or two clients a month, and I've already exceeded $5,000. And my bills are set, and other things I can focus on other business ventures. So, guys, I'm telling you this story to give you an idea of how lucrative freelancing can be if you can do it right. But if you're doing it the wrong way, the way I see most people doing it, charging 5,000 naira for a flyer, 4,000 naira for a flyer, that's graphic designers, people who they are paying 2 naira per word, content writers, and so many, like, they are so underpaid. That was the reason I actually came up with the high paid freelancer payment program. But before I get into that, I complete that story, let me just go through what we'll be talking about today. So, first of all, what is freelancing? Now, freelancing is there's a lot of definitions from it, but basically, is you being a service provider, providing your skill sets to multiple people, not just working with one client. Okay, so instead of working with a company, let's say you want to work with NAFDAC or something, you're working with both NAFDAC, EFCC, or like you're working with Dangote, NAFDAC, EFCC, and different of them. You can provide your skills and service for them. Maybe you're a writer or you're a designer. You can provide your services to them, right? At a price. Now, this gives you advantage because when you're working with a company, strictly with a company, you are limited to how much you can earn, right? Or how much your growth can be because you're working a 9 to 5. After that, you don't have much time to do your things, right? So you are limited to how much you can earn and how much you can grow. Now, when you take your skills and turn them into a freelancer, it's a whole different case. Now, if you don't have a skill, don't start saying in your head, hey, oh, this is not for me, and those kind of stuff, right? Chill. I'll show you guys at the end of the class. So now, what I'm talking about, um, so when you get this leverage, you can start choosing to price your listing, right? You can say, okay, let's use Naira for example. You can say, I will charge each company I work with 100,000 Naira to, what do we call it? I'll charge each company I work with 100,000 Naira to write for them, to design for them and the rest of that. So now if you work, so now once you've said that, you know that for you to make 500,000 Naira this month now, all you need to do is work with 5 companies, right? Now the problem then after you've done that, what comes next is how do I find these 5 companies I'm going to work with, right? Because you're not just going to stay one place or this and they're going to come and meet you. No, you actually have to put yourself in an environment where you can be seen and the rest of that. Which brings me to the second aspect of what we're going to be talking about today, which is what everyone needs to know about freelancing. Now, freelancing, it's not what everyone needs to know. It's freelancing is not difficult, right? But you have to put in the work. Let's say you're a busy person and you have only about 2 hours to spare a day. Now, if you can't spare up to 2 hours a day, don't bother trying to get into freelancing. You won't really make the cheese, right? But let's say you have about 2 hours a day and you can spare. If you can spare more, that's better. You grow up, you scale up fast, you grow fast, right? But that's one of the things because if you say people think when people hear freelancing skills and the rest of that, they think it's difficult. They want something that um they will just do and they will just make money without doing anything, which doesn't make sense to me because the course you are studying right now, if you're a student, or yeah, if you're a student, you weren't born with it, right? You learned it as you went to school. Whatever job it is you're doing, if you work a 9 to 5, you are not born, you were not taught you didn't born, you weren't just born and you just knew how to do it. You had to learn it either from school or from something, right? The same thing with subjects and everything you learn. So it's something learnable, it's something that is simple and straightforward to you to learn. And there are so many high income skills which are high in demand, which you can actually choose to learn by yourself. Like I mean, like you choose to learn and present, right? You don't have to be a content writer, only a content writer, a copywriter. If you don't like writing, I like design, you can become a UI UX designer. You can do video editing. You can do there are so many other things, video editing. You can do funnel designs. You can become a virtual assistant if you just like filling in tax and data entry and the rest of that. These are stuff that you can easily do, and you that makes you valuable. So now you have a skill. That's the thing. So that's one thing that simplifies freelancing, right? Now, another thing I need you guys to understand is that it's not a get rich quick scheme, right? So today it's 10th of February. If you start freelancing today and you don't have a skill, don't expect that by May of this month, as May is 6. Okay, let's do June. June is the 6th month of the year. Don't expect that by June you've made $1 million. It's not going to work. However, if you start and you don't have a skill and you learn a skill and you actually put in the work, let's say you take 1 month, 2 months, depending on how fast you can learn. Some people learn within 3 weeks, but not everyone is that fast, right? Some for 2 weeks, but not everyone is that fast. You learn this skill and you start selling this skill. It's great, right? What you do then is simple. You then after you've done that, let's say you start now. Today is 10th of February, right? You start and by 10th of March, you've gained some knowledge on your skill. You don't have to be a professional before you start offering your skills and services, right? Some people are going to hire you at your beginner stage. Some people are going to hire you at your intermediate stage. Some people are going to hire you when you're an expert, right? What matters is that you are valuable and you can carry out the tasks that is given to you. So from like March, you start sending out proposals. You can get, even if it's low paying jobs at $200 per project and the rest of that, $500 per project before you get to expert level where you go. So you can start charging up to $5,000 and the rest of that, right? So it's not something that you have to you have to just hear it and say, oh, more this thing, I don't know if you do more. Those kinds of stuff, right? It's not like that. It's simplified. It's something that obviously you have to take your time to learn it, and it's not a get rich quick scheme. So I've cleared that up. If there's anything I want to talk about again, is that you are not going to be scamming your clients. If you're going to do freelancing, if you're going to do freelance, whatever skill or service it is you offer, make sure you actually satisfy your clients, right? At least you do what they want. I understand that sometimes some clients can be stressful, but make sure you're doing what they want. And the reason is quite simple. You want to have longevity, or how you pronounce that word, in this game. You want to last long in this freelancing thing, right? You don't want to start saying you don't want to say you just rush now and you brand yourself as expert and you charge a client $1,000, $2,000 for a project, but then you can't fulfill that project. Makes no sense. You think about it. You don't want stuff like that. You want stuff that you can actually do and fulfill, and your client will be happy, even if it's just a job of $500. $500 in today's exchange rate is around 270,000 naira. How many people are earning 270,000 naira per month? Now imagine earning that for a project. So if you do 4 of that project in a month, that's $2,000. You're making over 1 million naira, right? But the point is that if you just don't be in a rush to make the money will always come. The money is always there, right? The main thing is just make sure that any job you're taking, you can fulfill it for your client. That's it. So, guys, I'm moving on to the third topic we talk about, which is recommended high income skills. Like I think I already covered that practically when I was talking before, but basically, there are some recommended high income skills. Number one, copywriting. Copywriting is always going to be in demand. In fact, anything writing, it's always going to be in demand. Content writing, copywriting, um, copywriting, article writing, storytelling, and the rest of that is always going to be in demand. But not all writings are equal, right? As a copywriter or a content writer, you're helping brands and businesses push their stuff forward, right? So it's easier for you to get higher pay on this kind of jobs, on this kind of skills, than when you're just an article writer or any of those things, right? So you want to take that into consideration. Now, if you're done with that, next skill is graphics design, UI UX design, video editing. A lot of people are bringing out YouTube channels. A lot of people are starting their own personal TikToks. People are trying to match on reels. Businesses are trying to make the whole world is getting shorter, right? The whole video world is everybody's trying to cram everything up in 60 seconds. There's YouTube shorts and the rest of that. So there's demand for you guys. More and more people are starting up businesses out and the rest of that. So you can become a UI UX designer and do graphics design. There's always going to be people who need flyers, who need posters, who need this. But if you're going to do graphics design, like I always tell my students, don't do basic graphics design. It's going to be hard for you to get paid. Highest you'll be getting paid $50 per this thing. That's not bad. $50 is 25,000 there. But you think about it, except you are actually hired by an agency long term, your chances of making a lot of money is not that high. And if you're hired by an agency long term, usually when I see graphics that are hired by agency long term, I'm usually seeing them within $1,800 to $1,000 to $1,200. I'm not saying that's bad money. $1,000 is about 570 something K. But think of the upside. Like, think of what your mates are earning. Don't just be comfortable with good. Someone said, I read a book or reading a book and it said something like the enemy of great is good. So don't just be trying to be good enough, be great. But then again, you have to understand that before you can be great at something, you have to be good. And before you can be good at something, you have to be bad. And before you can be bad, you actually have to try, or you have to start, you have to do something. So everything is step by step. That's one thing. That's one thing you want to actually pay attention to. Everything is actually step by step. So that's it. But when you get to that level, don't go and start relaxing and start saying, I've reached, how many of my mates, let's say you're a young guy, how many of my mates are seeing up to 500K a month and you just relax? No, you're not even scratching the surface of anything, okay? So I've mentioned copyright, I've mentioned writing, copywriting, and the rest of that. I've mentioned article, I've mentioned video editing. These are stuff that are always in high demand. Then you can also assist as a virtual assistant, but in this case, you actually have to, what do we call it? As a virtual assistant, you actually have to, what do we call it? You have to have a laptop. That's one thing. There are different skills, depending on the skills you want to. If you want to go for writing now, you don't need a laptop to start. And even at the level I am at now, I still type in my phone. Like sometimes I don't just feel like using my laptop and I'll just type in my phone, or my laptops are far from me, are in the other room. I don't feel like going from the parlor to the room. I just type what I want to type on my Google Docs. Anytime I get to my laptop, I go on Google Docs on my laptop and I can do the rest if I want to do anything. But like I said, Starting out, when I started out, I didn't have a laptop or anything. I started with my phone and Infinix Hot 5 for that matter. So that puts into perspective. Now, thinking of any other high income skill, yeah, programming and the rest of that, those are complicated and talking of stuff that you can just do as yourself easily. One thing I always recommend to anyone is copywriting. So I hope this puts you through. Let's get down to the next topic we're talking about, which is how to sell your skills as a freelancer. So to sell your skills as a freelancer is not difficult. You just need to put yourself in an environment to be seen by people who need your skill, right? So first of all, you can either do that by going on freelance platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and the rest. I don't recommend Fiverr. Fiverr is trash. I'm not saying people don't make money on it, too, but the model is too stressful. It's a race to the bottom. Everybody is dragging for $50 gig, $10 gig. What's that now? That's no money. So I don't recommend Fiverr in any aspect of it, right? So you can go on Upwork. Last year on Upwork alone, I made $15,000. So you want to keep that in mind. That being said, on Upwork alone, I made over $15,000, right? Upwork is a great platform. Like it's not the best. You're still going to see low-paying gigs there, but the chances of meeting quality clients there are higher than what it is on Fiverr. Fiverr is a race to the bottom. That's just the main thing. It's going to. Let's say if you started now, let's say you started today, you open an Upwork account, and this person open an Upwork account, and person open a Fiverr account. At the end of the year, you that open an Upwork account will actually be more profitable than the person that opened the Fiverr account. So that's one freelance. I don't recommend. Then the other freelance platforms you can use like Guru.com, Freelancer.com, and the rest of that. But find one and just use it. I don't recommend you trying to multitask across everything. Okay, don't go and confuse yourself. Now, other ways you can do this is either through inbound marketing or outbound marketing. Now, inbound marketing is you using LinkedIn, social media, and these are where the big fishes are, right? These are where the people who pay you $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, depending on how valuable your skill is. So you can use inbound marketing. You find them, CEOs, and the rest of that. You target them on LinkedIn. You can also find them on Facebook group with common minds. Let's say you are in a Facebook group for foreign entrepreneurs. You're in a Facebook group where everyone there is doing e-commerce. You're in a Facebook group where everyone there is starting a software as a service product like SaaS. All these software companies, they're starting their own software companies. You get what I mean, right? You can pitch to them. You can find a way to get your services in. Hey, I see you're starting a new this thing. I can write this for you. I've done this for this person, blah blah blah. Those kind of things. And then that's outbound. That's this thing outbound marketing. Sorry about that. Inbound marketing actually is more about creating content. So you join these groups instead of you pitching them. What you can do is you can just write content and the rest of that, right? Once you've written this content, this type of content, you post them either on the group or you just post it in an environment on your timeline. And people who see it are like, oh, I may be in need of this guy's services. They reach out to you. There are so many ways to do this, but for the sake of time, I think I'll limit it to these aspects. Okay, so now we're going on to recommended freelance websites. I already mentioned that, so I think I'm going to skip that. I already recommended Upwork, this thing, Upwork, Guru.com, Freelancer.com. There are so many of them. But here's something you guys need to know before I move on. If freelance platforms are small pawns. By small pawns, I mean that while you can get $1,000, $2,000 gigs there, it's that yes, say you are a writer and you see a job, right? Other writers are seeing that job. Other writers who are as good as you. So obviously, if that was a scenario where you were not on this thing on the freelance platform, you close that job easily. But with this, you have other people bidding with you, right? I'm not saying you won't get jobs here. You will get jobs here, but it's going to take you longer. And then, since there is more freelancers on those platforms, you can't have that much leverage to charge the kind of amounts you'll be able to charge when you get them on social media platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. There are so many ways you can get them on all these social media platforms. So you want to think about that, okay? So that's one thing you want to actually consider. So now moving forward, I think what remains is mistakes and errors freelancers to avoid. I believe I've mentioned some of these things casually. Basically, as a freelancer, the mistakes and errors you actually want to avoid are simple. You don't want to take on jobs you can't do, because if you take that on, you're going to piss off a client and you're not having a client. And what that does is either they ask for a refund. If you can't give a refund, they're going to be more pissed. They're going to spoil your name. It's going to take you longer to grow if you are trying to do that. Then other thing you need to do, another mistake you need to do is that don't be charging too low. That's the main reason I started the high page freelancer premium, right? I don't want people. I see a lot of Nigerians charging too low. Like, what's happen? There's so much. The internet has connected the whole world together. So you can reach out to these guys and get paid something like $1,000 is not much money to them. But when you convert it to Nigerian currency, you're looking at 567,000 naira upwards, right? So you think about that. So don't make that mistake of limiting yourself to working with only Nigerian clients. Don't go and do past yourself. Don't go and make sure you fulfill your clients' job. Think longevity, and also try and keep your pipeline full. Find other clients to work with, even if you're working with one. Once in a while, you can fall out of jobs, and you want to be able to, what do we call it? You want to be able to bounce back from that easily. Okay, so that's it. Then moving forward, why freelancers fail? Freelancers fail because they don't know their numbers. Okay, so they don't know their numbers. They don't know, what do we call it? They don't know their numbers. They don't know their numbers. They don't know what it is. They don't know by their numbers. What I mean is simple. Let's say, like I said earlier, I made an illustration where if you charge $500, if you charge $500 for a gig and you want to make $2,000 that month, you need to get 4 clients to pay you to pay you that $500, right? Or alternatively, you can increase your price, but let's say you want to do it at $500. Now, to get those 4 people who pay you, what you simply need to do is simple. You want to, what do we call it? You want to start sending out proposals or putting yourself out there or applying for jobs if you're using a freelance platform and the rest of that to make sure you get those people. So you need to know your numbers. If it takes you 50 outreaches to get 4 people to hire you, that's your numbers. If it takes you 100, you know what to do. 200, you know, 1,000, depending on the number, whatever it is. But always make sure you're optimizing and making sure it's getting down to the extent where you can just send 20 and you're getting 4 jobs because by then you are hot cake, right? And you do that by improving your skills and the rest of that. So that's the major reasons why I say freelancers fail. And I see freelancers fail because they don't know how to manage their time too. So like I said, there's so many ways you can make money. You can be working for an agency now and you're earning $20 per hour. $20 per hour at 40 hours a week should be, or let's just say 20 hours, 30 hours a week. 30 hours a week now should be about $600 every hour, every week. $600 every week is big money, right? At the end of the month, you're making $2,200. But if you are a beginner, or if you are someone who is busy and you've not made enough money to quit your 9 to 5 or enough money to be able to like take those distractions away from you so you can work more hours, what you simply want to do, sorry about that, what you simply want to do is work per project, do projects so that you can find out this point at that time, right? So you say, I need 5 emails written for me. I'll pay you $300 for that, right? And they say you that, right? It's not much more do it on the hours. If you have only 2 hours a day, you tell them, okay, you get it done within 3 days. You find those 2 hours you are free and do their job for them, right? So make sure you're able to manage your time well and the rest of that. So I think scope of pricing in freelancing. Okay, so you price based on your, what do we call it? You price based on what you feel you are worth. Now, you want to do your standard price by industry. There's so many ways to prices. It's fluctuating, right? There's so many ways you can do your price. Now, let's say, what do we call it? How do I put this? Let's say you're a beginner. You should be pricing $200, $500 and below. Just not for long. It depends on your skill set, right? Now, this also depends on what it is you do. You can't expect a UI UX designer to come and start pricing $500 or a direct response copywriter to come and start pricing that amount. You get what I'm saying? So these are the things you want to think about. So your scope of pricing is going to be at industry level. If you're charging at industry level, it's okay because you see, if you Google like how much does an average writer make in a year, you can see anywhere from like $40,000 to $60,000 and the rest of that. And if you're earning that amount yearly in Nigeria, you know you're making serious bag. You're making serious millions. So your scope of pricing will be depend on one, how valuable your work is. Number two, what level you are at your work. You can't be a beginner come and start charging 10,000. It's not going to work. Three, your confidence level and how much you can deliver. That's another thing. Some people are really good at this stuff. I've worked with people who were really good at what they did. They were not making any money. They were not doing anything. Like one of my students, I would say, Keva, she was working under on that guy, on that writer who was selling those services, and she said making like 10K a month or so. But after she like took my program and learned these things, she was able to start charging her own and making over 500K and the rest of that. But so it's based on your confidence level and the other things I mentioned, your confidence level, what industry it is you are working with, your confidence level, your skill level, what industry it is you are working with, and the type of project and how valuable that project is to the clients. Okay, so that's your scope of pricing. So I'm seeing some chats here. I don't know if you guys are having questions, but you guys can chill with the questions. I think we'll have a question and answer session after this. Okay. Okay. So then, last but not the least, how to make at least 1,000 to 10,000 as a freelancer. It's simple. The steps I've already outlined them basically throughout this class. So it goes, first of all, depends on what stage you are, right? I know some people here, they already have some skills. They do graphic design, maybe they are writing and the rest of that. But some people, they are just hearing about freelancing today. So I'm going to just start from the whole beginner level, right? So let's just say I'm hearing about freelancing today. The first thing I would do is simple. I would get a high income skill. High income skill, like I mentioned, are skills that they are paid well in dollars and they are in high demand. So it's not enough to get a high income skill, but there's not a lot of demand for it, right? There's not a lot of demand for, let's say you get a high income skill and there's not a lot of demand for it. So you'll be struggling to get work, right? Ouch. So but if you get a high income skill that is in demand, that's where you're making bank. So if I wanted to go from zero to at least $2,000 monthly as a freelancer, right? I would start with getting a skill. After getting a skill, I'll make sure that skill I'm quite professional. I'm not looking at expert level. Because one thing you guys should understand when you guys are learning skills that there's a point where you are good enough, but your brain, your mind and your brain will telling you you're not good enough. That's what do we call it? Impostor syndrome, right? So you get rid of imposter syndrome by doing the work, and this work is by working with clients, right? So just make sure you've seen improvements in how you handle out types and the rest of that. Then you can start finding clients. I mentioned how to find clients earlier, which is uh, freelance platform and the rest of that. And basically, as you learn, you keep growing. That's another reason why some freelancers fail. They don't keep growing. They make $1,000 a month and like, oh my, I don't arrive. They don't learn new things. They don't try to upgrade themselves. They don't learn how to price more. They don't learn new updates in their industry and making people be able to charge up to $10,000 to $20,000. They don't try to enter the business side of freelancing because there are so many methods of freelancing. The business side of freelancer is where you are getting jobs and you're outsourcing to others. So imagine if you get a job now, you outsource to someone, right? The job is $1,000. The person you are talking to, you pay the person $300. Let's just say, or $500. Don't pay 150. The person does the job, and you keep $500, but you do nothing. That's the business side of freelancing, right? And the rest of that. So, guys, I believe that has taken you from where you. So, from I believe that this whole class has actually explained it to you in simple terms how you can go about it. Okay. So, before we get into the distance, I would like to tell you guys about. Oh man, sorry man, I'm having serious kata. I would like to tell you guys about what do we call it? My program, the High Paid Freelancer Premium. I came out last year because I'm actually an introvert, but it's not like I don't like talking much, but I came out last year around July and I was like, hey, see this blah 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 making via freelancing if you'd like to learn and stuff like that. And since then I've gotten over 500 students to learn from me. Now, from August last year to the end of the year, collectively, they were able to close over 170,000 naira in gigs, right? It's called the high paid freelancer premium for a reason. I'm trying to take people from this mediocre thing of charging low for their jobs, for their skill sets, to charging huge amounts, okay? So that's just one of the feats and the rest of that. I think earlier this February, as of 12th of February, I helped one of my students close a $15 gig. It was a $15,000 gig, right? It was a writing gig at $3,000 per month for 5 months. So stuff like that. When you think of stuff like this, don't be hearing amounts and start shouting, "Hey, scam! This, that." That one's your business. The main point is that you think you get inspired. They say, "Oh, so this is possible. People are making it," and this is still. I keep saying it. We in Nigeria, we're not scratching the surface of how much our foreign counterparts are making. Most of my colleagues I'm talking with now, foreigners, they're not charging less than $10,000, $8,000 per gig. But me, I still charge anywhere from $3,000. So you see that I am still because how do I put it? Because I'm still in Nigeria. I'm trying to get with America and come internationally recognized. You don't have to get internationally recognized. It's just that we in Nigeria, it's our mindset that is keeping us shackled. So I'm drifting off point now. So like I was saying about the program, it's it's a program you get to learn how to get clients on Facebook, on Upwork. I show you everything about how I made $15,000 in 5 months on Upwork. Like I made that within 5 months, right? I'll show you how you can get similar results for yourself. It doesn't have to be exactly my results. It can be a little bit down, even if it can be a little bit down, it can be better. It depends. You will learn how to get clients on Facebook, how to find clients on LinkedIn. You will learn how to send cold emails. That was something I talk about in this class because obviously time is limited. I have to do other things, and you guys have to do other things too, right? And so many of that. Now, if you don't have a skill, that's not a problem. There are 5 high income skills that I have arranged for you guys. So number one, it's copywriting. I told you guys I'm a direct response copywriter under the tutelage of Andrew Bukolo. Those of you who know him know how much of a big deal this is, right? Now, then number two is the content writing and content marketing crash course. You get access to that when you sign up for the program. And number three, it's what do we call it? Social media marketing. Like I said, I forgot to mention that that's a very huge high income skill, social media marketing. You learn how to manage your clients' social media, their Instagram, their brand listing, and the rest of that. And you get paid, right? I have a particular student who, that she reached out to me around 2020. Then I wasn't even like listening, teaching anyone. I was just doing my thing by myself, right? And I gave her insights on how she can close clients. And she closed 10 clients. Like I told her to use a method which I call the this thing, suicide method. It's a dark name, but mainly it's kind of like a do or die where you go on the group. I'm not really going to give you the answer here now, come on. But basically she used it and she got tons of requests and she had to take only 10, but she couldn't get bonus, right? She was offering her services at $250 per Instagram account she was handling. So that's one thing. But at that time she was making $250,000 per month. So there are so many ways to actually do this, right? There are so many. I believe now I advised her last time I advised her to increase her price because one thing is that as you're going, don't get overwhelmed with time. You want to lessen your time from your work, right? So you want to be charging fees $2,500 for social media management and that. So like I said, that's the third skill you will learn. Fourth skill you will learn is what do we call it? A full stack digital marketing course. Everything about digital marketing from Facebook from Facebook, YouTube, SEO, the rest of that. Don't forget the content marketing. I'll teach you guys about SEO, writing, content creation, content calendars, and the rest of that too. And then lastly, you learn UI UX design. Okay, so these are what are contained in the course. Now, individually, anyone who is teaching this, in fact, I don't want to just go on Google now, type copywriting course, see how much you're charging. Type content marketing course, see how much you're charging. Type digital marketing. You can type in Nigeria too, so you see how much these guys are charging, right? And stuff like that. So definitely, you'll be expecting this to be approaching over this thing. If I charge $500 for this, because obviously within 1 month, within 2 months, depending on how fast you are, you've made your first gig can be anywhere from $500 upwards, and you've made your money back, and you get to keep the knowledge, and you get to make times too. I have students who have made 5,000, who have closed $5,000 gigs. I have students who have closed $2,000 gigs. I have students who have closed $1,000 gigs. I have students who have closed. There are so many. Like it's hundred. You get to see it on the page and the rest of that. I can't share my laptop screen with you guys here. I'd love to show you guys. But when you get on the page, on I believe Isaac will share that with you guys. You get to see these stuff, right? So these are the stuff I'm talking about. So if you want to get in, the price currently is 25,000 naira. Yeah, basically, it's really cheap. But here's the catch: by 15th of February, I'm increasing the price to 35,000 naira. And that's not going to hold on for anyone. So if you want to get in, then I suggest you get in while you can. And obviously, I'll still pay it for more than 35,000 naira because it's still priced low, and I'm putting so many things in place to see my students succeed. Right? Like there are so many things. You also get some bonuses you get. You get the 0 to 2K challenge, which has helped most of my students scale through. You get access to our support group. I'm in that group. I'll answer your questions. You can actually reach out to me and the rest of that. There's so many. I can't start mentioning everything now. You see it on the page Isaac will send to you, right? Because I also have to go. So we still have about 18 minutes. So guys, if you have any questions, ask me. Freelancing, ask me. If you have any question about the course, ask me. I'm good to go. Okay, I'm seeing some chats in the chat box here. Let's see. Okay. Obviously it's not free now. I should come and take my time out and start teaching you for free. It doesn't work like that, right? So this question was from more guys. So you guys should ask your questions. I still have about 18 minutes in this class, right? So ask your questions. Let's see. I'm not actually feeling that fine. So I shouldn't have attended this today, but there's no wahala with that. Let me see. All right. You guys don't have any questions? Hmm? Hello. Okay. If there are no questions, I think I'll be taking my leave then. Isaac, I'm not hearing you. Unmute your mic.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so it seems like no other person has any question then. I think if that's it.
Guys, if you have questions, this is the best medium for you to ask your question. And since you did not tell them the price for them to be your student, we go up by February 15th.
No, I think I mentioned it now. It's going on by February 15th, and it's going to go up again after that, because 35,000 naira is still too cheap. So I believe I mentioned that. Yeah, I think I mentioned that.
Okay. So one person is asking here, do you recommend doing affiliate marketing too?
Affiliate marketing is a business model. It's not a freelance skill, right? And here's something you guys should know. If you want to get really grounded in anything you're doing online, you need to have a skill. Like you need to know, you need to have some skills. Even if you plan on starting a company online or any of these things, you need to have the skill. So these are what you think about when sorry. These are things you want to think about long term, right? So affiliate marketing is not a freelance skill. You don't go on Upwork and the rest of that and start telling them I am an affiliate marketer or I do affiliate marketing. Makes no sense. What you can do is you can be like, I'm a content writer. I write emails for affiliate marketers. I write Quora blog posts for affiliate marketers, for ClickBank affiliate marketers. I write those are the kind of things. And this can also aid you if you plan on doing affiliate marketing in the future because you get the skills to actually organize and use them, utilize them yourself. Okay. So is there any other question? Oluyemi Gray says, what of those that cannot afford the fee? Well, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going to give a discount. You see, when I started this team last year, the people who got in, we got in at 15,000 naira, and then it was just the client acquisition models and the rest of that. And then as I added more things, I made it more distant. One of my friends, Tamilore Adewi, he's getting more popular. He's a popular guy now, unlike me that is doing introverted. He says courses are like school. So if you cannot afford Babcock, you go to what do you call it, Covenant University. If you cannot afford Covenant University, you go to University of Ibadan and the rest of that, right? So I'm not going to be giving a discount. Maybe sometime in the future, but I don't do discounts, to be honest. I want people who are getting into my program to understand that, hey, this is a dedication. You actually have to put in the work to see the results and not just people who are just trying to get into any course they see, okay? So he says, I'm not seeing your question now. How to sign up on Upwork? That's not a problem. You can go on upwork.com and sign up. If you're asking about how you can sign up on Upwork and get approved, there's a video for that in the course. in the program, so that's not a problem. How can we? There is someone here who says, "Sir, please answer my question," but I can't seem to find your question. So maybe you can actually. Okay, so okay, I think I've seen your question. Is Ayomide right? He says, "Sir, what is the top freelance platform to use, and which service is more profitable?" See, it's not a matter of okay. I didn't explain this, but once you have a high income skill, basically your earning limit is your time, right? It's how much time you can give to find more clients and work with these clients. Okay, so now the best freelance platform to use, the best way to get clients, I'll tell you guys, a lot of people are all fascinated about Upwork and all these platforms. And I get them. It's because from people who want to hire come to these platforms, right? But the thing you want to know about this is that I already explained it. There are small points, right? So even if you say you want to make, okay, I want to make $3,000 in this month. Now I want to make $3,000 this month, right? And for me to do that, I want to charge each of the clients I work with. I want to work with 3 clients. Let's say I want to charge them $1,000. When you're on Upwork or Fiverr or any of these freelance platforms, there is no guarantee that the jobs that these guys will send to you is going to be worth up to that $1,000. So you get where I'm coming from. That's where you go into the extensive way of getting clients on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on via cold email, on Twitter, and the rest of that. Okay. So about the highest, I already mentioned high income skills. Yeah, I believe this should be recorded, so you can go back to the recordings to watch that. Is there another question? This deadline is not for you guys. The deadline, as I already said, I don't know. Some of you might know me. I'm not that popular. I don't run that much ads, but I've been telling people who have been on my, who are on my email, who receive my emails, who actually that I'm increasing the price, right? So it's going up on February 15th, and it's not something I'm not going to say. I'm going to increase price. I'm not going to increase it. It makes no sense now. Reduces my credibility. So even if none of you guys in here get it, it's not my I just hope I'm just giving you guys an idea so you guys know how much more is possible there. Okay, so even if you don't have, if even if you can't afford it now, there's someone said, what if you can't afford it now? There's no problem with that. Try and use YouTube videos. Start from somewhere or find someone who has a course you can afford. Right? Get it. There's so many things you can do in this life. But what I would say is that learning from someone who knows what they're doing, who has achieved the results you want, is the fastest way to get results. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't learn. If I didn't learn under Andy Mukolo and with the mayors, right? These guys were hugely instrumental to my success. So these are the kind of stuff you want to be thinking about. Okay, I don't think anyone has a question again. All right. So if you guys have any other question, feel free to send them to me. Now we still have 10 minutes before I go and do other things. But in the absence of any other question, I think I'll be taking my leave. Well, having serious kata. Is this Hamatan disturbing you guys?
All right, thank you, sir.
No, no wahala.
Thank you very much, sir. We are grateful. I think my network here is so bad. Okay, guys. So if you are ready to kick off, you are ready to level up and get better. So I strongly recommend you get started with it. Course. So just reach out to me on WhatsApp or reach out to anybody that shared the YouTube link with you. So then from there, they will share the link on how to have access and join his mentorship class. Okay. So I'm also in his mentorship class. I'm one of his students. So I've purchased his course. I've seen everything inside this course. So when I see this course is amazing and I see his teachings, everything. That's why I think of, okay, so let us arrange a class and share value with people. And I think the value shared in this training is enough for you to start something, at least start from somewhere. Implement everything you learn today. Then from there, I would advise you to go for premium. So that's why the course is available. As you can see what he said, you can hear what as you heard what he said, right? You heard what he said. He said the course is attached with other high income skill that you can learn. So even if you don't have an high income skill, that is still not an excuse for you not to be a successful freelancer. So you can, there is funnel there is UI and UX, there is copywriting, and part of his skill that he has packaged to the course so that others can kick off from there. So I really wish you success. If you are ready, don't forget to reach out to me. And don't forget, the price will be 35,000 naira by 15th of this month, February. So if you want to get it now, get it for 25,000 naira, or you wait till February 15th and get it at 35,000 naira. So I would advise you to save the cost and you start implementing. So I wish you success. Have a great day. Thank you, guys.